You might hear some funny noises and so on. We're trying something a little bit different. You might have gotten emails about Google Hangouts today. For people who couldn't come to today, but still wanted to look at the information, I'm broadcasting this through Google Hangouts. So right now, there's a couple of people that are in Google Hangout, and so when their kids or their microphones pick that up and so on, so we might hear some of that today.
And it's Stacey Murray's birthday.
And it's Stacey Murray's birthday, as you can see up there. This is a presentation that I did at Boeing this summer, and I shared it with Ann, and Ann thought it was worth taking some time to look at. The slides will be available, and they have videos embedded in them. I'll share that out to everybody, and the video of this will also be available from Snagit. So, or not. All right. So that's the slides. I'm going to share them out anyways, but if you wanted to be on the same slide show as I am, there it is. There's the Google Shrunk URL. There's the QR code if you're using a mobile device. I'll kind of intro this while I give people a second to put that in. I started doing tech at the elementary level 2 years ago, and I went in with this grandiose idea that if the teachers had time in their classrooms, if they weren't under this huge burden of curriculum, that they would, that all the kids would be able to express their learning in their own way, and all these creative projects and all this stuff, and we just got to give them the time. And I found out that I was completely wrong. It takes a lot more than just being open to it. And so that's kind of what I want to share, and I want to show you what we're doing with that. I'm the luckiest guy I know. Okay? I got a great wife, I got a great kid. I got one-to-one Chromebooks, which when I go around the state and talk to people, that is not the case. Okay, and you guys with iPads, same story. Huge administrative support. The teachers at the elementary level have been fantastic with me. They let me kind of go crazy and do some silly stuff and let the kids explore, and then they let them bring that back into the classroom, which is absolutely awesome. And then I've got a really great PLN. If you're not familiar with Mishad on Twitter, it's definitely worth your time to look at that. And I can talk to you about that if that's something you might be interested in. So, students start to be more creative in your class when they are safe. Okay. First thing that I didn't know that I had to establish was the fact that they have to be able to feel comfortable to fail. Okay. Right away, I know that that's a lot easier for me as an elected teacher to say than it is for a lot of you who are contrary teachers. Okay, I understand that. They need to know that they're appreciated by others, and their efforts are appreciated. It failed, completely fell on its face. It was a mess, but you worked really hard, and I can see where you were going, and I get what you're saying to me. I see the learning that you made, even though the project didn't succeed. They need to be able to explore new stuff, new ideas. Okay, I try to give my kids what we call in our class T3, and I'll explain that in a minute, a group of tools that they can use at any time. Any assignment, anytime, these tools are always fair game. And I'll get into that in a little bit more. And then they need more than just, here are the tools, but I've got to show them, here's how to use the tools. And I've got to show it to them multiple times, okay? Even my fourth graders that just left me and are coming to the middle school, in my brain, we've done Google Slides a million times, but they still forget. How do I get that research bar up on the side? How do I do this? How do I do that? So going over them over and over and over again. So T3, like I said, I have a series, all of the apps that I'm going to show, apps and websites I'm going to show you are on the side of my board. And if I come in, right now my 7th graders over at the middle school right now, they're doing digital storytelling. I assigned it and laid it out in Google Slides. Are all of them going to use Google Slides? I hope not. I'm hoping that a few of them say, you know what, instead I would like to use Powtoon, or maybe I'll use make-believe comics, or some of the other tools that we've worked with, and I'll show you both of those today. I want them to make those choices. We talk about making those kinds of choices. Are you going to use a lot of photos? Well, then Google Slides is probably your vehicle because it's easy to get photos in and out of. But wait a minute, I want to do music and I want to do a voiceover. Well, let's go to video then. And let's talk about what tools work best for what, and what do you want to create at the end. This is a saying that was coined, I believe it was coined, by Christina Gibson down in Port Huron. And she says that we don't want app sitters. We didn't spend all this money in infrastructure and technology to be able to plug our kids into an app and go sit at our desk. Okay, we gave it to them so they can create, so they can be expressive with their learning. Screenshots. If you don't know how to do screenshot on the device your kids have, learn it because it's a huge tool and it's going to be really helpful. For Chromebooks, it's Control and this funny little box with 2 lines after it up here, this display key. On the MacBooks, it's Command Shift 3. iPads, I think everybody knows the home key and the sleep key. All right. But that's a great way to move information. My kids love it when we talk about Sumo Paint because they love that icon. They love to make my kindergartners think that's hilarious. We use Sumo Paint. Sumo Paint is a Chrome app, but it's also a website. You can log directly in with your Google account. It's free. It doesn't take anything. You click on it and you tell it it's okay, and you're in. And what we use Google or Sumo Paint for, the project we use, this is a 3rd grader, Zach Kretsch, from my class. You can see the 2 photos. Here's the beginning photo he started with. And the player's gone. He used a clone tool. Okay? Now, there's lots of opportunities where we've got a photo. We don't want to crop this photo because we don't want to lose the ball, but we don't want this player in. So he used a cloning tool. What the clone tool does is you click where you want it to copy and then put that over. So if this is my target, it will copy that and copy that and copy that. He had to change down here. You can see this gets muted down here and you don't see the grass as well because he had to change his target to go to grass now instead of crowd. So that was a project where we used that. All of these are going to have little instructional videos that are embedded right in the slide. I won't play them all today if you don't have time. But if you want to go back to them later, this was an idea that Teresa Kellerman came to me with last year. She said, you come and you talk to us at staff meeting, and then 2 months later I want to use it and I don't remember, and you're busy and I'm busy. So I'm going to start curating all these videos so that we can go back to them and pull them up when we want. Go Animate. Has anybody ever heard of Go Animate? Okay, Go Animate just recently launched Go Animate for schools. Go Animate was actually more of a business design website. Go Animate for schools is a little safer and a lot easier. There's a lot more options. Again, it's got a Google login, which makes life really easy. It's a website, so it can go, doesn't matter about device. Go Animate, what Go Animate does is it allows you to create little movies really quick, takes no time. Okay? You pick your setting, you pick your characters, you tell the characters what to say, you generate the movie, and it's done. The kids love to play with the accents in there. They can make them sound French and all that. They get a little confused in the fact that when they pick a French name, they expect the character to start speaking French. They expect it's going to translate that, which I think that's awesome that they think that the computer would do that. and with the right software, good. Okay? When we were using computers in school, I never would have dreamed a computer could do that. Now our kids expect it. It just kind of speaks to where we are. This is, I'm going to jump to this really quick. All right, this is a Title I student. He was working on a Michigan history timeline. Okay? And this is one of those things where we were doing it in ThinkLink, which I'll show you in a minute. He came to me and said, can I use GoAnimate? I like GoAnimate better. And so I said, yeah, go for it. Let's see what you can create.
Michigan was discovered in 1610.
The French and Indian War was in 1754.
The Revolutionary War was in 1783.
When the Michigan Territory was established in 1805.
Michigan became a state in 1937.
Okay, it definitely gets away from the idea of a timeline and visual representation, but is he still going out and finding the information he needs? Absolutely. Is he still expressing that learning to me? Absolutely. Okay? So, is this always going to be an appropriate tool to express that learning? Probably not. But on occasion, can I make an allowance and let him express it this way? Sure. Absolutely. And again, that's GoAnimate, and there's a video that goes along with that. With the GoAnimate for schools, they have lots more settings and so on, lots more characters that they've opened up that are available for the kids. Powtoon. Powtoon is a Chrome app, but it's also a website, so it doesn't matter which device you're on. Again, it's got a great Google login. I love it when there's a Google login because we don't mess around with creating accounts and spend 10 minutes before we can even do anything. So I seek out programs that have that Google link. So this was a digital storytelling assignment. We were supposed to take the Three Little Pigs, a story that we all knew, and modify it in some way, change it, fracture it, for those elementary teachers call it fractured fairy tale thing. And this young lady, you can tell from the spelling, the grade level we're going with here. So she altered it to the Three Little Pandas and the Big Bad Pumpkin. I love the way she spelled pumpkin. And she's able to control with Powtoon on the timeline when these characters come in, when the words come in. She's going to create another slide. Here's her second slide, the middle of the story. And she's got the action changing, bringing in new characters. And the house gets blown down. So we'll go on from there. Powtoon is a great program for creating this kind of thing. The one thing that Powtoon can't do, and they've been working on this, they're actually a pretty good company as far as when you suggest things, they actually listen and they respond back. Right now, at least the last time I used it, you can't move from point A to point B on the screen. What you can move from off the screen on and then again off in different directions in different ways, but the kids want to be able to take the panda and have him walk across the screen. It doesn't work that way. It's an introduction and then an exit. Okay? Powtoon works with a big timeline along the bottom, and it says that at 2 seconds, I want the panda to come in from the left. At 9 seconds, he leaves from the right, and so on. The text is really what makes it valuable, where they can actually start to tell that story. There's the video for that. WeVideo. Does anybody use WeVideo? WeVideo is, again, it's an app for Chrome. It's a website. It has a Google login, again. And here's the big seller for me for WeVideo. I wanted to do green screen. And I saved up a bunch of money. And I went on Amazon and I found this setup with big 20-foot long green screen and the lights and all that stuff. And I have to have almost an entire empty classroom to set it up. So I've got to do it during year-round when the year-round kids go away. And then Shannon Parrish bought a $2.99 app and put some butcher paper on the wall and did a better job than I did. The kids love all the theater, setting it all up. So anyways, but we did do some stuff with green screen, and we've been playing with that. This is the app that Shannon Parrish uses, and a lot of our teachers use this with their video newsletters to send home to their parents. The kids will actually green screen in those and create the video newsletters. So this is a green screen. This is a personal narrative that this young lady did. It's we call it a scar story. For little kids, memories are tied to traumatic events. And so if I want a lot of detail, I got to pick a traumatic event, something that really stands out, so they remember it. So she went into Google presentation, she created some slides with images about what she was going to talk about. Then we green screened her onto in front of it with WeVideo. So there was a lot of kids that really got into this. They started working in groups and coming up and can we just do Maverick's story and all of us work together to video it and work on it together? Sure, let's see how that works out. And so they were able to create videos. WeVideo, this part of it, the green screen, or what the technical term is chroma key. For that, that's the paid version of WeVideo. I hold an account throughout the year, and then my kids put everything together, send it to me, and we put it on my computer, rather than trying to build accounts for 400 kids that I see in the week. Okay? So I don't do this with my second graders, but my third and fourth graders are capable of doing it. And they love going through the process of gathering the video. They have Chromebooks, so we have external webcams that we plug in and use. We put it right on a tripod, just like a regular camera, and it works great. I put in both a basic video just for putting videos together and then green screen. Obviously, for those of you who are using iPads and already have iMovie, why bother? But for those of you who are using Chromebooks in the classroom, it's a great tool. Snagit. If you don't have a screencasting tool, or if you don't know what screencasting is, you need to take a few minutes and look into it. Screencasting is the idea of whatever I've got on the screen, I'm recording. And I'm doing that right now. I'm using Snagit right now to record this so that I have a few people who couldn't attend, who wouldn't have a Wi-Fi available for Google Hangout. They wanted me to send them the video. Everything I say right now is being recorded along with the screen. I'll send them the video as one big package. So again, it's a Chrome extension and app. You have to have both to run it on Chrome. And it pops up here in the top. We go ahead and open that up, and it comes down the side. We just tell it what screen we want to capture, and it goes, you can send it straight to YouTube, so you can throw it into your YouTube account and email it out to kids. Before I came over here to get ready for Ann to cover my seventh graders, I just real quick did a screencast, showed them exactly what I wanted to do. Open up your presentation like this, build it like this, format it this way. I want this and this and this in these places. Send, done. And even my second and third graders, fourth graders can grab a video out of their email or even out of their Google Classroom when I'm not there, or even if I am there, and go to town with it. This is a third grader, and this is her, when we were doing the green screen project, some of the kids chose, they didn't want to get involved with the green screen. They didn't want their face on the screen. They didn't feel comfortable with that. So this young lady did a Snagit instead.
Well, I was in a car And
There's
there's motorcycle behind us. And then there was a problem too. There was real out of control crash. There's glass everywhere. And it scratched me. And this is what my car kind of looks like. And I had to go to the hospital. Now I'm scared of cars, and we don't have a car like that.
Some things in there that I really love. She went out on, she's building these, all of these are Google Slides that she, when the presentation, she made the presentation, she's in presentation mode, and then she used this button which shrinks presentation mode down just enough so that you can get your toolbar at the top and she could get it Snagit, turned Snagit on, and started progressing through her slides and narrating it as she went. So it captured her screen and her voice, and all of a sudden she's told her story. It's great for Title I type kids that the writing would kill the story, okay? So the story still gets told and captured without the cumbersomeness of writing. Not that I'm saying writing, I'm an ELA guy, so it's still necessary. At times, could we do it like this? So, the other thing that she did that I really liked was she was looking for something to go with crash. She couldn't find it. So she made it her own graphic. She went into shapes and pulled out that explosion and wrote the word crash in there. So I thought that was really inventive of her. Make Believe Comics. This is a website. This is not an app. So again, it crosses, and it doesn't play nice as far as Google logins and moving into Google Drive. This is one where a screenshot really works well. There's a couple, we found two ways to do it. If you go all the way to the end, you can email your creation to yourself or to somebody else. With young kids, the way the COPA laws work, our kids, second, third, fourth graders, I don't know about the fifth graders, they can't get emails from outside of our domain, outside of crosslinks.org. And so what they ended up doing was they would end up putting in my email for both. And that way, as far as the comics was concerned, I was sending the email to me. And they would just put their student name in it, and then I knew who made it. Kind of cumbersome, not real friendly. Works much better if we screenshot it, throw it into Google Slides. Now it plays nice with Google Classroom. It's very easy to look at them quickly and go through them without having to dig through each email and each attachment and everything. This is a third grader who was working on, we were working on digital citizenship. They were supposed to take one aspect of digital citizenship and express it. They were doing it in Google Presentation. Again, she opted out of presentation and into Make Believe Comics. She's been doing a lot of that at home, playing with it. And so you can see in Make Believe Comics, you can play with the characters, and each character has multiple incarnations. They'll be in different poses with different clothes and different things. There'll be 4 or 5 different Abraham Lincolns to choose from. There's lots of props, lots of backgrounds, lots of things. They can do a 2, 3, or 4 panel comic. There are speech bubbles, thought bubbles. There are banners, things like the next day, things like that. Just another way to express their learning. There's the video. That's the website right there. It hasn't changed in years. This website's been around for probably, 6, 8 years, and it has not changed. I mean, they keep adding content, but the basic format works, and they haven't changed it. Drive. This is one of the things that I have my kids do, whoever I have, second, third, I had my 7th and 8th graders do it this summer. I wanted to get to know them, literally. Day one, I don't want to take 2 weeks to get to know that you like motorcycles. I want to know right away because I want to start connecting with you. So I sell this by jump into Google Presentation. Okay, I want you to take a selfie. As soon as I say selfie, I'm cool and everybody wants to do it. So they go in, Really easy. It's an insert photo, take a snapshot, boom, they throw their picture in the center. Yes, I have 2 or 3 kids. Again, don't feel comfortable. Fine, just put your name in the middle. Just insert word art, put your name in the middle, that's fine. For the ones that do put their pictures in, which is 90% of them, this is a visual cue for me, okay? This is Aiden, okay? I can remember his face. I get to know him a little bit faster. I get to know a little bit more about him. And it brushes up on their Google Slide skills, okay? The shapes, the line tools, importing images. This year I had kids actually importing videos for the first time. I told them that if they were going to import videos, I wanted them to be specific, not just I wanted there to be a reason. This is my favorite song, or this is a video of my family, or whatever. So, that's the video on that. Google Sheets. This year, we played a little bit with pixel art, and I think the middle school does a little bit with that. Our kids love it, okay? Basically, what we do is we shrink the cell width down so we get squares, and they just start coloring them in. With Minecraft and different things like that, pixel art has become a big deal again. It's the 1980s computers all over again, except I have students that would, when they finish, can I work on my pixel art? Can I work on my pixel art? I made this at home. And I was amazed. I had a couple of young ladies who were really, really good at this. Imagine trying to make a watermelon slice, a curve, in pixel art, and you knew it was a watermelon slice. The minute you saw it, you knew what it was, or an apple. Okay? I was really impressed with what they did. This, I absolutely stole this. This is Michelle Franzel at Frostic. She had her kids go into Google Sheets and had them build their dream house. Oh, this is going to be my kitchen, and this is the game room. This is the party room, okay? So apparently we have big expectations. This is the indoor pool, and this is the computer room right next to the indoor pool. That's a good idea. The movie room, the glow-in-the-dark room. So after they get crazy and they build all these rooms, then she said, okay, I want you to find the perimeter area of every room. Okay, she hooked them. And she cooked them. So they loved it. They absolutely loved it. They got into the habit of labeling things. They merged cells. It was fantastic. Really great project. Videos on both of those. This is Google Drawing. I don't use Google Drawing a lot. I was a PowerPoint guy. Okay, and then now I'm a Google Slide guy. I don't use Word a lot. I don't use Excel a lot. I like the big openness of presentation. I can slide words around. I do newsletters in that. I do everything I can in Google presentation. And so drawing was never a big tool for me. Until this year, we started playing with some floor plans or maps with our younger kids. And then this was a project that we called Cartoon U. Basically what happened here is they imported a photograph or a selfie into Google Drawing, and then they used the line tool to create closed shapes. And that was very key. We had to talk about what is a closed shape, what's an open shape, and they would create closed shapes over the image and then fill them with a paint bucket. Okay? And so you can see the photograph back here. You can see his creation up here. This was done after school. We did it in school that day. He just locked into it. He was one of those kids that 2 or 3 times during the year I got into it. And he was actually interested. I got this at 10 o'clock at night at home. I got an email from him, popped it open, and this is a picture of his cousin that he was working on at home. So it got through. It engaged him. ThingLink. Does anybody use ThingLink? Love ThingLink. ThingLink is a website. It's got a Google login. What it does is it lets you take any image, anything, and turn it interactive. So this young lady went out and found this image of this rider and this horse, And these are all targets that she added. When you mouse over those targets, they link out to text, to videos, to websites, to anything. Okay, let me see if I can, I think that's linked. No, it's not. All right. So you would mouse over these, and in some of them, that would just pop up and say helmet. But down here, on the bridle, there might be a YouTube video that discusses how the bridle fits on the horse's head, what's important to pay attention to, and so on. So she's created a diagram that's 10 times more valuable than anything she could have drawn. Links to tons of information, okay? We also do timelines like this. We'll start in Google Slides and just make a line. Maybe we'll put dates on it, and then we'll add tags, and the tags will link out to the information. It might link out to a map or even a voiceover. There's a video of that. Sketchpad. I was a Mac kid way back in the 80s, and so Mac Paint, I don't know, I'm probably marking myself as a really, really, really big geek now. But you remember? Okay. All right, Teresa, you and me. Okay. So I've been looking for a good drawing program that's free, I love that word, and it's actually usable by the kids. And Sketch.io does a great job. The tools are right across the top. They're simple. They're flexible. Lots of pens, lots of shape tools. The fonts are fine. There's some built-in graphics. This is the only downfall to Sketch.io. Bringing images in is dicey. I haven't had a lot of luck with it. My kids haven't had a lot of luck with it. There is an iPad app, and it was working just fine during the school year, and now this summer we've been having trouble with it during extended year. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but it definitely works in the browser. My kids started creating things, and no, is this curriculum? No, not even close to curriculum. But the point here for me was I want my kids to be creators, not consumers. I don't want them to just sit and, okay, pour the internet over me. I want them to start creating things. And this is a step in that direction, okay? If they can do this and make their own background, then when it's time to diagram the water cycle, they can do it too. PicMonkey, love PicMonkey. PicMonkey's another website app. No login needed. We did a thing on Andy Warhol, talked about Warhol. I showed them 3 classic images. I showed them John Lennon. They all said it was Harry Potter. They knew Marilyn Monroe. And the one that absolutely killed my wife, I showed them Audrey Hepburn, and they said it was Justin Bieber. Yeah, so anyways. So what they did is they went out and found images, and then they obviously changed the hue and saturation of these images. And PicMonkey makes it really simple to apply tools like this. Then we also, with PicMonkey, did some of this. We looked at memes. Is anybody familiar with memes? Okay, memes are those little pictures you see on Facebook with the minion that says, I don't know, they say all kinds of funny, weird things and stuff like that. Okay? And basically, most memes have one image that's been cropped away from everything in the background, and it's got this generic kind of background. So this is one of the 7th graders who made this. And she cut away the background back here, and then as she got over here, she wasn't sure where to make the cut. She cut away the block, but then it didn't make sense with the back half of the block. So she was kind of struggling with this. And that was that whole critical thinking stuff. Is it, again, it's not groundbreaking, it's not going to get her to Stanford, but it is critical thinking. And she's going through the process of making some decisions. So that's PicMonkey. Just to kind of, I tried to put a lot of stuff into an hour, and I didn't go real deep with anything. I think you all already know that. The reason being, I don't know what you've done and what you haven't. And my idea is if I walk into something like this and I walk out with one idea, it was worth my time. Hopefully I did that with everybody. And we've got about 15, 20 minutes where I can sit down with you and actually go in depth with something if there's a specific program or a website that you want to look at more closely. I'm involved with MishEd. MishEd is a personal learning network on Twitter. And I use Twitter extensively. If you've spent any time around me, you probably already know that. A lot of you have signed up for Twitter over the last couple of years as that's been kind of a push. Some of you use it, some of you don't. Twitter is one of those things that you get out of it what you put into it. And if you've got really good people that you're following, it makes it hard to get away from. It's like Pinterest for certain people that lock into that. You can't get away from that. It just keeps rolling and rolling. These are some great, great, great people. Many of these people, Todd Block, Ian Smart, Ron Houtman, these are Michigan educators, okay? Ron is part of McCall. Adam Bello and Steve Dembo wrote this book up here, Untangling the Web, and I've got that book if you'd like to borrow it. It's a great book for things like what we were just talking about, little programs that do neat little things. It's getting a little dated now. It's a couple of years old, and in the world of the internet, that's like archaeology to be looking at a book that's 2 years old. This book is brand new, and if you use Google Classroom, you need to at least once in a while be checking in with Alice Keeler. She is incredible. She knows Google Classroom like she made it or something, okay? And she's very responsive on Twitter. If you're trying to do something and you don't know how, or you've got a special circumstance and you're trying to find a way around, you tweet to her and she'll tweet back. She will. I talked to her lots of times and I've never met the woman. But over Twitter, she's shared a lot with me. These are two really great articles. This whole idea of 7 stages of moving from consuming to creating, that really helped me with my desire to get my kids to be creative in the classroom. I really thought that I would just walk in there and say, okay, here's your computer, do something really cool. And it didn't work. And it fell on its face, and I couldn't understand why. I'm giving you the freedom. Why aren't you creating something neat? And they didn't have the tools. And I had to lead them through the stages and get them prepared. And now I'm seeing more of that, more and more. And so as the students come on through, they're going to be desiring that more and more. They're going to be more prepared for that. And then Tom Whitby, these guys are also on Twitter, obviously. Tom Whitby talks about 2 worlds of education. What he's talking about is the fact that when we go to lunch, we sit down in the lounge with the same people every day, 180 days a year. Sometimes the same people we sat with last year, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before. And we hear the same ideas, and they kind of get bounced around and bounced around and bounced around. When 7 miles down the road, there might be an idea that's brand new, nobody in that room has ever heard. And if we don't find a way to connect out to that bigger world, we might never hear that idea. And that idea will never impact our students. So Twitter gives us that opportunity to reach out. I'm in contact with a principal in Australia, and her kids do a project called the Night of the Notables. And it's a semester-long project where they study individuals who were influential in history. And it's one of those things you see in those feel-good movies where the kids dress up like the character at the end, and everybody's all teary-eyed and everything. It's one of those kind of projects. They explore and they do all kinds of things. They look into quotations by this person. They look into the timeline of their life. They look at how they impacted this and how they did that. And there's all these projects along the way that lead up to this culminating activity. Never would have been exposed to that except Twitter. Never would have met this woman. And I probably never will meet her face to face, but I don't have to. Okay? And she has been incredibly generous. People on Twitter are incredibly generous. They're on there because they want to share and they want to steal. Or borrow, if you don't like the word steal. So, that's everything I have to share. Like I said, I'll send out an email that has both the slides and the Snagit from this. Hopefully you got something from this today. And if you have a question about a specific program or website or what have you, I'm happy to help you with that in the next few minutes. But Ann has my kindergartners right now, so at like 10, I gotta go, because otherwise she'll probably fire me. So thank you guys.